Hi, I'm Dr. Samantha Brody. Welcome to part 2 of my 3-part series on how to use MyFitnessPal. In the first video, we reviewed how to get your program set up, and in this video, we're going to look at straightforward entering food. In the third video, we are going to look at advanced applications. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're on the food tab up here, and then make sure you're on the correct date. You can change the date by going back and forth or by clicking on the calendar and going right into the date that you like. So in my experience, the best way to track your food that's going to be the most accurate is doing it as you're going. Now that said, it's common for people to not have time to log into the computer every time they eat. So your other choices are to use the app that they have on your smartphone, to actually make notes on your smartphone. You can use your phone, if it has a camera, to take pictures of the food that you're eating and enter it later, or you can write it down in a little notebook and enter it all at the end of the day. One of the benefits of entering it as you're going is you get a better idea of the big picture of that day, how you've eaten, and it can help guide you in your food choices later in the day. So let's say you get to dinner and you've been entering it as you go and you realize you've had a really carb-heavy day, you might have a protein-heavy dinner. Or if you haven't had any vegetables, you'll plan your dinner ahead of time to make sure that you get your needs met. Okay, let's go ahead and start adding food. So one of the great things about MyFitnessPal is the extremely comprehensive database of foods in here, because there are foods that come with MyFitnessPal, and then there are foods that members have entered in since MyFitnessPal started. So what happens with that is that people enter foods hopefully by the label of what they're eating. But the potential problem is that if someone, for instance, doesn't care about how much protein they're getting, they might just skip entering the protein, and then the information will not be accurate. So the best thing you can do is to actually check the food that you're eating against the database. The other thing that you can do is to see how many confirmations it has. So I'm going to go in here and put soy-free earth balance. So I had that for breakfast on my English muffin. You can see all of these entries were made for the same product from different people. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that this one, 5 confirmations. This one, 1 confirmation. 1 confirmation. 7 confirmations. 8 confirmations. So you just need to pick whichever one you like. And again, ideally you're going to check it against the container, but most likely if there are, 7 confirmations, it's correct. The only serving size they offer is a tablespoon. So if I had a teaspoon, that's going to be 0.33 of a tablespoon. Add it to my food diary. Now I'm going to add the English muffin that I ate. So I had a gluten-free English muffin, but I don't remember the brand. So if I go ahead on search, it lists a bunch of different brands that people have entered in there. It was the Food for Life one that I ate, and again, you'll see how there are a number of different listings for the Food for Life English muffins. Your best choice is to check it against the package. But I'm going to go ahead and click on that. 3 confirmations. I'll go ahead and say that's all right and add it to my food journal. Okay, so you can see what it's doing here is tracking the ongoing calories, carbs, fat, protein, sugar, fiber. These are the things that I set. So another way that you could use this is to put the food in ahead of time to see if that meal is meeting your nutritional needs. So when I notice there's really not a lot of fiber in here and not a lot of protein, I could try adding something that's going to increase my protein or fiber. So I'm going to go ahead and say I really want more protein with this meal. I'm going to add some eggs. Now, I'm just going to point out here that things with an asterisk are things that a MyFitnessPal member has added. If it does not have that, it means it was one of the things loaded into the program up front. So I'm going to click on that, and you're pretty well assured that anything on there that was loaded in up front is correct. 994 confirmations. 1 large egg, 2 of them. Adding to my food diary. Okay, so now I have more protein than I had originally, and the fat you can see is coming from a combination of the egg and the earth balance. All right, so that's a meal put into MyFitnessPal. You can go ahead and keep adding it through the day. I do not recommend that people really get into too much minutia about the exact number of calories they're eating or how many calories they have left or what their goal is. This is about ballparking and learning how to eat healthfully for the long haul. There are cases where I really ask people to keep their carbs within a certain range. Those are usually people with blood sugar issues, or their fiber within a certain range because they have digestive issues, and sugar as well for people who have blood sugar issues. And I will let you know that 4.2 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon. Last night, my friend was pouring himself a bowl of cereal, and what appeared to be a normal size bowl of cereal, and just for fun we went ahead and measured it, and the serving size on the package was 3/4 of a cup, and we measured it out, and he actually had almost 3 cups of cereal in that bowl. And so someone who thinks they're eating healthfully and has a bowl of cereal for breakfast might actually be blowing their calories out of the water or getting way more sugar than they think that they are, because they're not actually looking at their portion sizes. So it's extremely important to measure your food up front when you're doing this, to make sure that you really have a good idea of what you're eating. And that's what this is all about, is being honest with yourself about what you're eating and being able to assess whether you're actually getting your needs met. I will say that there's study after study showing that people have the most success with not only weight loss, but also with healthy food, dietary changes when they're tracking their food and really looking at what they're eating. And it's incredibly helpful to have that information in front of you, and I go over this with almost every one of my patients, and I can count on one hand the number of times that people have actually been aware and had no surprises once they've been tracking. Okay, I think those are the basics, and I look forward to seeing you in video 3, where we're going to look at some of the more advanced applications of this program and how to get recipes in there, and how to track whole meals. Okay, see you there.